Hello and welcome to the virtual cafe. I am your host, Segilola Salami. Who have I got here with me?
Hello, this is Dr. Wayne, also known as the Health Food Guru. Happy to be here.
Well, lovely to have you, Dr. Wayne. How are you doing today?
I am feeling charged and ready to go.
All right, fabulous. Before I ask you what you would like to have on this sunny day in London, tell me a bit about yourself. You're new to the cafe. I haven't met you before.
Well, yes, I have been around though quite some time, about 3 decades now. I'm board certified alternative medical practitioner.
Interesting.
Fat Fallacy is my third book I've written. I wrote Organic Panic, 80 Health Myths Busted, and now The Fat Fallacy, which all your listeners can get a free copy at thefatfallacy.com. And I have been increasingly becoming a healthy weight loss coach because so many are coming to me after they've lost weight uh, unhealthfully. And I'm finding it more and more important that I guide people to lose weight healthy. And also, I am the founder of pesticidecleanse.com, which of course I'll touch on later in our broadcast.
Right, okay. That's quite interesting. So now it's a really nice sunny day in London, and as I like, we love the sun in London. So normally I would say what you would like to have, but then that's kind of like when it's in winter and everybody just wants a hot drink because everyone's depressed and blue. But it's a nice sunny day, and I've got some pineapple in my fridge, and I make a fine high crushed pineapple drink. So that's the only choice I'm offering you now. So that or water.
Well, it's certainly better than coffee.
Yeah. Yes, no, definitely. So you can have the nice crushed ice pineapple. It's just basically pineapple juice with crushed ice in it. But I like to give it a nice fancy name.
That does sound
And I'm just
yes.
and I haven't got any baked goodies. So you can have some Oreo cookies. How does that sound?
I'd have to say no on that one.
You don't like Oreo?
Well, if they made them healthy, I'm sure I would.
Right. So what would be your healthy snack?
Um, Strawberries and blueberries, dates, raw organic cashews with some raisins. Yes, I know it's probably not exciting as Oreos, but I assure you it tastes delicious.
Yes, but you see, okay, right. So the other day, right, it was my birthday, and I had a barbecue, and I tried to be healthy as well, right? I mean, tried, being the operative word, and I haven't had a burger in like forever. So obviously, I'm having a birthday barbecue, right? So here's my burger, my bun, my everything, and I get a drizzle of mayonnaise, right? I know there's one of those squeezy bottles where you just go, right? And
Yeah.
I put it in my mouth, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, how have I not had this in like forever? So every now and then, we are allowed to have quote unquote unhealthy things because on the day when we do give in to temptation, we might go, oh my god, and then I had two, three burgers with a gazillion loads of mayonnaise in it, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Yes.
Well, I know exactly what that's like, but I have, uh, I guess, found the healthy versions of what people eat out there. The healthy version of Oreos, the healthy version of pizza, the healthy version.
So what's the healthy version of Oreos? I'm actually quite intrigued now because please don't tell me black currants because yes, all of that is nice and good, but seriously, sometimes you just want something else.
Well, when you've been eating healthy for as long as I have and as strictly as I have, those ideas or those cravings for quote unquote something else are actually not there. You begin to experience, I guess, a reversal of your cravings, and you don't crave things like that anymore. And if you did, Like, for example, when someone craves sweets, which is pretty much every day of someone's life, most people's lives, um, your brain is actually trying to find more protein. But your body, of course, craves the fastest source of energy, which is simple sugar. And I have found this by testing it myself. And when I have craved some sugar, I would, for example, eat higher protein. I would juice carrots for myself, or I would boil some organic eggs, and I'd eat that and drink that. Wait about 5-10 minutes, and lo and behold, the craving would be gone, if not almost gone. Most people don't know to do this,
Mm-mm.
but it actually does work.
You know, actually, that you say that, I have actually heard about something similar, and I think sometimes, I think, and I might be wrong in, in my memory. I think they said when you're craving chocolate, it means you're craving something with potassium, something like that. I think I read that or heard that somewhere along the lines.
Yes, your
Um,
body tells you what it needs. If you listen closely enough, you can actually, like, again, sure. Let's say your body craves chocolate. It could, of course, just because you're addicted to it, since there's caffeine in it. But then again, uh, let's say, while you're pregnant, right? I mean, you'll have several cravings throughout your pregnancy, and some mothers will grab a pickle jar with peanut butter, and you have to ask yourself, what could their body possibly be craving by grabbing those two things? Well, let's say probably her body is craving salt. um, uh, Not sodium from the table, obviously, but salt found in nature. Sea salt, for example, would be an excellent alternative. And as far as the peanut butter is concerned, clearly her body is craving some protein. And if you grabbed, instead of unhealthy peanut butter, but rather healthy peanuts, as close to raw and organic as possible, and snacked on those, and the more she did that, those cravings, those extreme cravings, would actually lessen, because you'll be getting the exact nutrients your body needs every day. And that's with anything. Like I said, sugar is the most common craving, because most humans actually are malnourished, but they just don't realize it.
that's actually quite interesting to say. So, when did you start writing? When did you write your first book? What was it called again?
I wrote Organic Panic. I guess we're coming up on 4 years now. 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was my first writing bug, I guess you could say. And then I started to write from then on.
Hmm. Okay, okay. And so what was that one? And I guess because you said you've been, been elderly for the last 30 years. So what was your first book about?
Organic Panic was simply teaching people why they can trust organic, because here in the States, I'm sure it's quite different in the UK. But organic kind of has a bad reputation for the masses. Now, of course, organic food sales continue to increase every single year, year over year, for the last 15 years. But still, the masses don't trust the organic certification, even though it's the strictest organic certification in the nation, if not one of the most strictest in the world. But that's what Organic Panic was about, kind of putting back the trust that for some reason the masses um, uh, don't believe. And I know for a fact that many who've been sick and eating what they thought was healthy for years, they realized that it wasn't healthy at all. You cannot juice pesticides and expect to feel healthy, for example.
True,
And
true, true.
for some reason, they forgot that there was organic out there. So I wrote it mostly for the masses who weren't familiar and didn't trust organic food.
Yeah, but then quick question though. I mean, isn't it the same like here where organic is more expensive than regular stuff?
Organic, here, for example, you can go to the 99-cent store and pick up a small box of organic cherry tomatoes for 99 cents. Even a homeless person can afford 99 cents. So it's not the problem that it's too expensive, although again, that's one of the I guess false beliefs out there that eating organic is more expensive. When the organic produce is not in season, yes, compared to the contaminated, low quality, pesticide ridden fruits and vegetables that are sold in stores, compared to those, yes, it is noticeably more expensive. But which do you think is more expensive, buying organic food or getting cancer?
But some people will tell you that cancer is not, the immediate problem, just because the time, the world, the way the economy is, today. So people are trying to make their money, stretch. And I don't know what it's like here, but I find that in the UK, junk food is cheaper than even fruits and veg. Not even that's like the basic non-organic one. Then let's not even come. So you have junk food as the cheapest, basic, fruit and veg next up, then organic at the top. So basically, you're asking people to go from the very very bottom, rock bottom, to the very very top, which a lot of people might find that it would be out of their reach.
Well, let me give you a simple statistic. 85% of all bankruptcies that are filed here every year are due to medical bills. No one has ever filed bankruptcy because of the cost of organic food. So medical bills cost far more, astronomically more, than spending a few cents more per pound or per kilogram on food that can actually heal you.
So when you were writing this book, right, your first book, did you find that you were putting in your passion? How did you write it? What did people say to you about your book? What was the feedback like?
Yes, before I wrote Organic Panic, and of course now my latest book, The Fat Fallacy, I had already engaged thousands of mothers, fathers, and children, grandparents, up to that point. And I gathered up all of their questions that they've asked over the years, all of their inquiries, all of their concerns, and I addressed it. I simply answered it, kind of like we're talking now in conversation form. So that was my first book, like I said, Organic Panic. And then I realized after I wrote it, I got a lot more questions. Okay, but now that I know organic is available, and now that I know I can eat it cheaply, if I know where to go and I research a little bit where to find it cheaper than even junk food sometimes. Now that I know how do I do it? How do I prepare the food? How much of it do I eat? So a lot of those questions then I gathered, and I wrote my next book, 80 Health Myths Busted, which I sold even more. And then after I finished 80 Health Myths Busted, I gathered up more questions and concerns that people had, and I then wrote my latest book, The Fat Fallacy, which all your listeners could get for free at thefatfallacy.com or pesticidecleanse.com. They can get it there too. And really, each of my books that I wrote was solely based on questions and concerns that thousands of people had.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So, what sort of questions did you ask, or rather answer, in the Fat Fallacy?
The Fat Fallacy, because it focuses on losing weight healthfully. What I noticed from the previous two books I wrote, one of the most common questions was regarding losing weight healthfully, because I'm sure you've heard here in the States, we have an obesity problem. It's quite an epidemic, actually. And it continues to grow every single year, even though local and national government, of course, they're always pushing more exercise this and more exercise that, and count your calories and count your fat and count this and count that. And still, it continues to worsen each and every single year. And children, of course, are not immune to obesity. And so
Mm.
the fat fallacy, I guess, was a culmination of, the questions that came in regarding how to lose weight healthfully. There are thousands of diet programs that you can try, of course, but most of them fail people because it never addresses the underlying cause of obesity. And obviously, it's simply eating junk food. I mean, clearly, you can exercise all you like, you can juice once in a while all you like, but if you don't stop consuming toxic pesticide GMO foods every day of your life, you can exercise till you're blue in the face. You're not going to lose healthy weight. Now, the reason why I say healthy weight and not just lose weight, because there's a difference. There's a difference
Yeah.
between losing weight and losing weight healthfully.
Yeah.
People who lose weight healthfully, you can tell that they've lost weight because they've only lost unhealthy fat. Segilola. They have not lost healthy fat and they have not lost muscle, which
Yeah.
every diet out there forces you to lose, right? They starve you by feeding you full of empty calories that might make you feel full, but they starve your muscles and they starve your healthy fat to the point where your body literally literally starves. And when you stand on the scale, what do you see? Oh, look, I've lost 20, 30 kilograms. Yay, great. But you then suffer rebound because the weight you lost was the muscle your body requires. So
Right.
of course it comes back. That's what your body's supposed to do, recover from injury.
Yeah.
And so I teach people exactly how to lose weight healthfully to where they only lose unhealthy fat, not healthy fat, not muscle. And a wonderful benefit of losing weight healthfully like this is your skin doesn't sag like you
Yeah.
see in most everyone who loses weight unhealthfully. In fact, it firms and it tightens. That's just one of the
Interesting.
benefits. Yes.
That's very interesting. So right, I'm going to ask you something that probably might put you on the spot. Have there been any negative reviews of your book?
Only from people who make a living off of helping others lose weight unhealthfully.
Okay, so I'm just quite because obviously you're saying lots and lots of good things about your book, and it does sound amazing. But then I'm just wondering what the people, because everything, no matter how good anything is, there's always room for improvement. So I'm
Oh, of
just curious
course.
to see what other people have thought. So I don't want the good side because obviously you're going to say the good side. So I'm curious to hear what the learning points you've had and how maybe your personal views came on too strong in your writing or what just basically what people said you might be able to improve on if you went on to write your next book.
Sure, of course. Well, with every book I have written so far, yes, I have gotten some negative reviews, and I read every single one of them. Of course, they haven't been that many um, because I don't really publicize my book, to the world. I market it to my subscribers and my friends and my family, and they refer the book to their friends and their family. And that's really how my books have spread. But of course, it does reach the ears and the eyes of skeptics, certainly.
Yeah.
Um, each of my books have. The Fat Fallacy, I mean, I just finished publishing it a couple weeks ago. I'm sure it'll get even more negative reviews than all the others combined, just simply because it's getting more attention. But the reviews I have seen over the years that were negative or even sounded slightly negative, I tried to see who was providing this negative feedback. Sometimes I'd send an email, why do you think that? And Sometimes I get a response back. Most of the time I wouldn't. But someone said, um, a fitness trainer, for example, on the fat fallacy. I just saw it a couple of days ago. She was saying, well, I've been teaching um, all my clients how to count calories and why they should get off the couch and stop eating Doritos and start exercising every day. And I've helped them lose thousands of pounds that way. So telling people they don't have to exercise very hard and still lose weight, I don't think is true. And so, I mean, people will have their opinion and their own experiences, but what I have found is, over the last few decades, is that exercise isn't a problem with people. I mean, unless literally you're sleeping 24/7, you're sitting on the sofa playing video games 24/7. I mean, that could only be the problem I could see where people might gain too much unhealthy fat. But most people, 99% of the population, they do something each day. They work, they walk to school, they stand up and cook meals for themselves in their kitchen. They're moving, they're doing something. But
Yeah.
there's one thing that every single person obese shares with every other person who's obese. They do not eat healthy enough nor consistently enough. That is the pattern that I've seen with everyone. And personally, I have helped my own family and friends lose thousands of pounds over the years. Some are more stubborn than others. Some of them want to keep eating their foods and drinks that they love. They can't stop. They're really addicted to it. So what I have found with most people who want to lose weight is not for the lack of energy or motivation, but really they are addicted to foods and drinks that keep them overweight. Now, I personally cannot cure addictions myself in people. I don't think anyone can. They really have to do it themselves. And so that's why I've prided myself on helping people find the alternative to those Oreos, the alternative to those chips, the alternative to that bread, to that milk, to that cheese, to that yogurt, to that pastry, to that candy, to that ice cream. Yes, I have gathered up quite a list of wonderful alternatives to all of those that most people crave, and many of them have stopped craving the unhealthy version. So, if you're patient with yourself and you read the fat fallacy and you follow through, you too can finally break away from those addictions that certainly contribute to causing you to be overweight, and you'll actually have a new lease on life.
That's quite interesting. I can, just hear from your voice, something that you strongly believe in. But then, whilst you were talking, something that came to my mind is, you said it that, in America you guys have, an obesity problem. But in the UK, we have people who eat just as much, well, I wouldn't do a like for like comparison, but we do like our fish and chips and we do have the occasional not healthy things. But then we don't have as much of an obesity problem here as you guys do over there. So is
Right,
there something?
right.
I don't think all of Europe as a whole, and again, please don't quote me on this because I don't have any official statistics, but I don't think we have in Europe as much of an obesity problem as you guys do, and I don't think everybody here eats healthily.
Right. Lifestyle does play a large role in obesity. Um, I don't think people in Europe exercise particularly more than anyone in America. In fact, I think America has more exercise equipment sales than the UK and several other European countries combined. So, I mean, America, unlike many other European countries, um, we have a certain level of food corruption that is not prevalent in any other industrial country. Like, for example, America embraces GMOs. I don't know if you've heard of genetically
Yeah,
modified foods. Um,
yeah.
it's prevalent here. It's on every store shelf. 99.999% of everything sold here is either completely contaminated with GMOs or partially contaminated with GMOs. You can't get away from them. Many countries, Mexico, for example, Japan, and many other African countries and Latin American countries and European countries, they have refused to accept any GMOs from America. And I have no doubt that, of course, will prevent much of the disease in those countries. But here in America, unfortunately, um, you know, it's difficult to find food healthy enough to really prevent obesity and cancer and heart disease and diabetes, because it's just not everywhere. It's probably more easily accessible in the UK than here, even. But when you find it, because America is so vast, there are still some farmers left here with soil that's not contaminated. And
Mm.
when you find food like that, which I am grateful to have access to for all my friends and families and thousands more around the country who I provide this food for, they experience health like never before. And the reason why they can't find it on their own, the reason why millions here can't have access to it, is because stores, especially health food stores, don't even sell it, Segilola. It's
Mm.
not even found on any store shelves. Imagine if it was found and you could buy it. Can you imagine what would happen to all the fake synthetic vitamin and supplement and diet pill sales in this country at stores? It's the
True.
bread and butter. They wouldn't allow food like that to be sold. So you literally have to find it yourself. And I give a source exactly where everyone can find this special food that's healing enough to actually clean out unhealthy fat cells and shrink everything swollen in your body down. And I
Yeah.
reveal it in my book, The Fat Fallacy, which you can receive a free copy at thefatfallacy.com.
No, that is actually, you said something quite um well, I don't want to say it's quite like an eye opener, but it is an eye, because I have read, and it's because obviously I don't live in America. It's not something that I think about routinely, but I have heard that you guys do have genetically modified organisms in your food, and to actually know that it's 99.99%, that is really scary, right? So I couldn't even go to America and say, oh, can I have organic food? Because yeah, no, that's just scary. Seriously, that's just scary.
Yes, that's why it's probably better to live in Europe right now as far as health is concerned. But like I said, if you know the source, if you know where to find the source of food that's healthy enough to actually heal your body, your whole body, no matter where you have inflammation, no matter where you feel chronic pain, food that can heal and clean out this toxic accumulation that accumulates in every organism, every human on the planet. When you find the food that can do that and you eat that consistently every day, miraculous things happen to your body. And most people will never know what this feels like living here, because again, it the masses don't have access to this food. There's really only what, a few thousand acres left here, Segilola, of soil that's not completely contaminated. That's
Wow.
how much. That's how little of this powerfully healing food is left. It is very sad. And someone like myself, of course, when I see this every day, and I have friends, that I always hear about, that they lost their lives, they got cancer, they got heart disease, they couldn't find me, they didn't know I was here, that I could help them find this food that can heal them, and
Mm.
and then they die, and we never see them again. And all they had to do was start eating food healthy enough that can heal them. It's so healthy, in fact, Segilola, that you could eat Oreos once in a while and still continue to improve. That's how powerfully healthy this food is. And again, I reveal the source in The Fat Fallacy from thefatfallacy.com. People should know this now, and you're going to know for free. I'm not charging any of your listeners to receive a copy of my book for a very limited time. And they can also see it at pesticidecleanse.com. So once you have this book in your hand and you're reading it, and it's actually not very long either. I made it less than 30 pages because of people's short
Okay.
attention spans. And I guess you can say I condensed many years into these pages many years and focused solely on losing unhealthy fat. Because when you lose unhealthy fat healthfully, all the other symptoms in your life, headache, migraine, um, neuropathy, joint pain, all those other symptoms at the same time, you'll also notice improve. That's the power of I guess doing it the healthy way.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, okay. Well, it's been an absolute, like, I'm almost feeling sorry for you guys in America that you don't have access, like regular access to healthy food and organic food, because I think even our quote unquote non-organic food, they're not GMO, so technically that makes them even healthier than the stuff that you guys have. Um,
It probably does, yes.
and it's just like, wow, okay. Well, I've definitely learned something new today, and hopefully, the readers, the listeners would have taken something new, and it would make them, because I've only ever been to America once, and I was actually quite particular about what I ate, and I was so glad to leave quickly because I read that I thought what I read, and this was a long time ago, was like maybe 75% of your food was GMO. I didn't realize it was actually as high as
It's
99%.
much more than that, Segilola. Much more than that. Yeah, it's pretty sad. So I mean, it's more important now than ever before in man's history that we seek out healthy sources of food that is nourishing enough and healing enough to actually reverse pain and inflammation in our bodies.
Yeah. Fabulous. Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. Now, if any listeners want to connect with you, I know you talked about your website. Are you on social media? Everyone's on social media these days.
Yeah, I am on. I'm on Twitter. That's what I basically focus on my social media. You can go to Twitter and find the Health Food Guru, and we can continue the conversation there.
Fabulous. Yeah, the health food guru. Okay, fabulous. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Before I kick
Likewise.
you out of my cafe, any last words of wisdom you'd like to share?
Yes, I have created a slogan. I guess that is a culmination of my decades of servicing people all over the world, helping them heal and reverse their pain and inflammation. And the slogan goes like this: if you're not cleansing, you're accumulating.
Hmm. True.
Our bodies are accumulating every single day of our lives. And if you're not eating or drinking something every day that regularly cleans it out, you're actually accumulating. And your body eventually becomes this toxic cesspool. And most people don't realize it. And all they do is take pain pills for the rest of their life. So you have to cleanse daily, every single day. And eating healthy food enough to cleanse your body, is the ultimate disease prevention. There truly
Yeah.
is nothing better than that.
Now, isn't that your kidney and your liver's function to do your cleansing?
Only if you are healthy, yes. But
True.
most people are not. So they need a lot of help.
True, true, true. Well, Dr. Wayne, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And I hope we will see you again sometime soon.
Yes, I will be here, ready and willing to entertain or offend any listeners you have.
I like that, entertain or offend. Well, that's been an absolute pleasure having you. And until next time, well, this is the Segilola Salami show, and I am Segilola Salami. And I will offer you some Oreos at some point. Maybe the next time you'll get a to take some of my Oreos. Oreos are not bad for you completely, as long as it's a once in a while, not an everyday affair.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to eat it every day.
eat it every day. I don't eat it every month. It's kind of like
Okay.
maybe once every 3, 4, 5, 6 months kind of thing.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
not every
Well, that's
day.
much better then. Yes.
Okay, then. Well, until next time, we'll see you again on the Segilola Salami show. Bye now.
Bye bye. Thank you.